Hi, this is Dora, the Galapagos turtles, with a very strong child, very difficult to break. Today I want to share with you some components of my leadership story. It has been a very long journey, but also very challenging because mainly I have a lot of barriers. But the main barrier has been, don't enter, it's private. It started very early in my life. I was the first in a 3-children family. I understood being the first as being a good girl, working hard, and having exemplary discipline. Sounds nice, but the dark side is that I created a very individualist, self-driven, and very selfish person. I think this child protected me to be vulnerable, and some of you have noticed I ignore people very frequently. I tend to ignore people. It's a common issue myself. So being a child was very challenging for me. I was the only blonde, white, and with freckles. And I born in a country that at that time promoted girls to be models and to get married very young. I didn't consider having that attributes, and I didn't have that interest. So I started just to invest my time studying and playing basketball too. And I became very good performer in both. I think that I found in those activities the way to avoid being ignored. My brother was killed when he was in his 20s. I was the strongest girl, the strongest person in the family, and I went to the morgue to recognize his body. It was in the ridiculous violence in my country. At that time of my life, when I went to the morgue, I realized it was the hardest moment in my life because I regret that I never told my brother how much I love him and my dream to see him happy life. It was my main barrier. I don't express my feelings very easy to no one. And at that time, I didn't reflect about that, and I didn't know that that barrier could affect me in the future. But then, you're going to see how important it was for me to start sharing my feelings. So I started to study. I decided to study system engineering after having interest in computer science and in programming. And I was also a good student at that time, and having a very limited number of good friends, but a stable team during my career. And I worked, imagine, as a funeral assistant. Of course, I quit that job. I cannot be crying all the time and feeling vulnerable. It was horrible. So I quit that, and I started working as a computers teacher and as a tutor in the university. At that time, I discovered that I liked helping people, and teaching was nice for me. Then, after that point, and being close to graduated, I was promoted. I started working as a programmer in a telecom company, and finally in a bank. My boss in the bank was a woman, and she started to recognize my barrier. And she started to say, why is she shy? She doesn't talk. She pays a lot of attention, but she doesn't say anything. Luckily, she gave me some time, and I started to interact with others. After being some years in programming, I was promoted, and it was a good time. But at that moment, I understood being a leader, just tracking everything. I tracked everything, and ensuring that everyone was doing the job well, and ensuring that the team was working well to the final result for the organization. I never broke my child. I never tried to go to the people and know them as humans or open myself to others. And I didn't understand that that barrier could affect me. For years, I never had the need to open myself. I always worked well, and nothing happened. But soon that barrier started to change because the organization started moving overseas. I started to change my position very frequently and also my teams, and I became a project manager. And it means that you need to change your team very frequently, and if you don't accommodate to your team faster, you're going to fail. So I started to be conscious, but only in theory, not practical. I didn't change a lot. Then this guy up here is Jaime. Jaime was in the bank for 30 years, and he was very close to being retired. And he was in charge as a project manager of an outsourcing project to go to India to produce our software. Jaime was the person with the whole knowledge about the branches software, and he was in charge of training the team in India about the branches software. I do the same as usually. Do the plan with Jaime, this is what we need to do, go ahead, this project is for us, and go on. But soon the things started not working well, and the vendor's manager came to my office and told me, we are in troubles, all our programmers failed at the training. It means you need to pay 1 week more, and of course the project is going to be delayed. Oh, I said, oh, wait, I need to check what happened here. I need to talk first with Jaime. So I called Jaime to my office, and he came. We started to talk, and he, watching his notebook, he told me, this software is my children. I have taken care of this software for 30 years. I don't trust in these people to be right to manage the software. After that, I was shocked, but I interviewed myself and calmly reacted. And I said, it's my fault. I never talked with Jaime as a person, as a human. I never understood him, his fears, his motivations. And I started to talk with him, and I discovered his terror for the final years in the organization. With that conversation, we started the project, and Jaime became very good friend with the programmers in India, and he supported a lot, and I learned a lesson. in the projects, in my organization at least, I started first knowing the team, knowing who is everyone, their interests, their motivations, and this is a key for the success in the project. At least I learned that lesson. In my personal life, things were more challenging. 2 years ago, I decided to have a stop in my busy life and have a break. I came here to Worcester to have a sabbatic time, and after being 6 months in Worcester, I received a call, received the bad news that my father had a cancer diagnosis. It was a hard time in my life. Being alone in Worcester, far away from family, and only seeing by a sky how my father dismissed very fast with that terrible cancer. It was the second time for my father with cancer. He was a survivor of the first one. He was a life lover. His quote was, if life were sold, I would buy it. He was really emotional, and he really loves life. I didn't talk a lot about that. I didn't talk with my professors or my classmates. I just doing everything just in case of traveling, because I start traveling a lot, because I feel vulnerable. I don't share kind of things. I really don't like crying in front of no one. I never cried. I only cried alone. So I am very strong. I started just being very close with my sister. And it was the first time that I really felt that I shared with my sister my heart, and we started moving together. I never talked with my father and my mom about that situation and what's going on, what's going to happen. I only opened myself with my sister at that moment, and I think that we became more friends with that situation. Last summer, I was supposed to be here in Worcester, but I called to my father's doctor. He told me, the best advice I can give you is come back to Colombia. Spend time with your father. He is in his last days. Be sure that you manage your mom emotions. There is no possible miracle here, so be prepared. With that conversation, I was so sad and with a bad feeling. But the word is, how can I manage my mom emotions? I cannot manage myself. So it was a really complex moment for me, but I decided to travel. I didn't sleep, thinking about how to manage that with my family. When I arrived in Colombia, I called to my best friend, and she encouraged me to talk with my father. And she gave me, a checklist, the kind of things that you need to tell someone that you really love, and he is close to that. I prepared myself with earnest, and I went to my father's bed, slept with him for a while, and I started to tell him how much I love him, how grateful was my life with him as a father, and making sure that he felt that I would take care of my mom forever and make her happy. I think it was the first time that I talked with them with my heart and brought my child. And it was a good moment for me because I feel some relief. 2 days after that conversation, my father passed away, and the situation with my mom has changed. My relationship with her has changed a lot after that, because now I am worried about her. I always with her. These sensitive moments maybe be more, I don't know why, I need that sensitive moments to open to others my space. I really want to bring my child, but I forget always to take off. I forget very frequently to take off. My tortoise shell is really, really strong. My boss gave me this magic wand, but it really didn't work. Leadership is not a magic wand or a crystal ball. It's only about ourselves. It's how do you share with your team, how do you enjoy with them your achievements, and how do you make them to succeed. After these sensitive moments, I started to learn different and see different leadership. Now I like that people grow with me. I like when people come to me and tell me about their achievements, their motivations, what they want to do, what they love to do. I enjoy when someone comes to me and tell me about what they want to do in life. I remember a member that came to my office and told me, "Boss, I want to become a nun." A nun? Really? After working 15 years here, you want to become a nun? Yes, I want to become a nun. I helped her to discover her real vocation. I was not a nun. But it's nice to talk and to share with people in that way. It is for me now leadership. I hope that in the future I can break more faster my tortoise shell because it's really strong. I really want to break that. Thank you.